Hey, welcome back to Ghost Tracks Podcast. I'm your host, Tina, and today I have one of my favorite people on with me. I don't think you need like a major introduction or anything here because your face has been on this pod
A few
quite a
times.
bit, but I love having you on here. And let's give a warm welcome to Doug from I-PSI.
Hello, hello. Hello, everybody.
But for anyone that is new here, Doug is a friend who is part of Indiana Paranormal Science Investigation, and I had to look that up because I was like, is it scientific or is it science?
Science.
I don't remember. It's science.
One or the
I
other.
googled it.
Sometimes we're like, wait a minute, how does that go? Because we were so used to saying I-PSI, and we're like, how's the whole thing
Yeah,
go?
that's just how I've always. So yeah, if I have to say the whole thing, I'm like, I panic.
Uh-huh.
But we do investigations together quite often, not often enough for any of our likings, I
No.
think. We'd love to do this all just full time.
If we had the finances for that, yes, we would.
Oh, we would. We'd be ghost hunting
Yeah,
all over the
just quit our
place.
normal jobs and just ghost hunt all the time.
What a dream. But yeah, they're an amazing group of individuals. I'm always running off with them to haunted, spooky locations, doing overnight investigations. Had him on the podcast for like debriefings a couple of times for various investigations that we've done over the months. We do our debriefs here on the podcast, talk about events of the night for the investigations that we've done, what we have found, and then maybe what we could do differently in the future, which I know like Rhodes Hotel was kind of like a big conversation as far as that portion of it goes because it was a pretty quiet night.
And you're going to come across that with most locations, even the hot ones that year. Oh, we're guaranteed always something happening, and it's going to be that one night you can show up and it's like crickets, and you might have a brief
It
like,
would be the night we're there.
yeah. So I was like, it's not all of them are just like we say, that not like the shows where they have what seems like
Mm-mm.
nonstop action. Some people don't realize they've been there for like a week at a time, and they only taking 48 hours plus worth of time, and they only narrow it down for like 3 hours.
Right, right. But we're on the inside, so we know those secrets.
Yes, and not everything's just like on the shows, and not everything's a demon either.
No, no. Well, and then we haven't even had a chance to do our most recent debriefing. We went to Spirits of Marco Church, just me, you, and Thomas that night. So definitely stick around, guys, for that conversation because I think we're gonna have the owners on for that one. So we'll have some extra new faces on for that episode.
I'm looking forward to that
Uh,
interview and discussion.
yeah. Yeah, I just need to get it on the books. I'm trying to bring on. I got a lot of people coming from a lot of different areas all of a sudden. But I'm excited for it. But I gotta schedule everything. And everybody's going 20 million miles an hour and in 20,000 different directions. But today I am on here with Doug so we can chat about something a little out of the way of our norm, but right on brand for like podcast, being that it's kind of paranormal, spooky. We cover pretty much anything. But today I wanted to talk about doppelgangers and timelines again, because I love a good timeline chat. And so we're going to dive in.
Yeah.
So I have a definition of a doppelganger, and it is an apparition or double of a living person. To go beyond that, it's a non-biologically related lookalike or double of a living person, often with striking, near identical facial features that are almost indistinguishable from the original person to acquaintances, sometimes even confusing family members. The word doppelganger is a loan word from the German noun for a person who is a double walker, which I don't really like because it's kind of like Skinwalker-esque, the way that they put it.
Skinwalker, kind of dabbling mimic a bit. I mean, it's like feels like it's a
Yeah.
combination of like a couple different things at once.
hmm
Like seems like there's
Yeah.
so many
Maybe,
versions of the same thing.
maybe, and I just thought about it, but maybe because I said that, maybe they're kind of like, maybe entities have like, siblings or aunts, uncles, cousins
Or
of one another, and maybe a doppelganger is just a distant cousin of a skinwalker.
yeah, or I was like, your task for your rest of your life is going to be a skinwalker. Your task for the rest of your life is a doppelganger. Here's your job description. This is what you're supposed to do. Go on, move on.
What higher entity hands out these jobs? I need to know. What creepoid in a freaking
Let me
business
know
suit
what
is
building
like,
that
this
is in
is
the
your.
afterlife so I can go and check that out.
Do we get a choice? Do we get like our three top picks?
Yeah,
And then they just pick from those?
yeah.
Like the military for the stations that you can be at, you can pick.
It's just a
You have your
long
wish
line of
list.
entities, and you're like, nope, here's your job. Here's your job. Here's your job.
I think I would excel at a lot of those, I think.
And
Give me the banshee. Give me the banshee. I want to be a banshee. I want to sign up for that. That's my top three picks. I don't need any
I don't know
others.
what would be my top pick. I mean, I'd be down with a skinwalker or maybe a doppelganger.
Did I send you? I have new sticker designs that'll be out soon. Did I send you the Skinwalker one that I did?
Maybe, I don't
It's kind of
remember.
weird. It's kind of creepy. It's unsettling. Not like the Black Eyed Kids. I still think the Black Eyed
And
Kids is
then
my
you never
favorite.
sent me that one because that was kind of
Okay.
creepy.
Well, I'll have to share it with you guys. I thought I did, but yeah, I'm gonna try and get everything updated on the website today if I have a chance. So, research for like the doppelgangers and what people, history, lore, folklore. Research suggests that for some twin strangers, the similarity is so high that facial recognition software struggles to differentiate them. That's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
That even all of our mighty AI is like,
You sure that's not
I think that's
you?
the same dude.
You trying to cheat the system?
How horrible would that be? God. With the way my luck goes, it'd be like a murderer out there that looks just like me. And I'd be
Have
the
heard
one
a
in the tomb.
scenario, speaking of murder and strange twins. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, might come across this discussion later. I don't want to jump in right away with this. It might come in later. I have seen something where somebody took advantage of having a lookalike.
I don't talk about any like real life cases or anything as far as that goes. But something else that we could maybe discuss, maybe a mini episode or something, is chimeras. Have you ever heard of a chimera?
I believe so in the looking around of things.
So chimera in like legend it's like a half lion, half man, I believe.
Yeah, I've heard of
But
that.
they're yeah, in scientific, there's a medical condition that is called hi
See,
toupee.
this is what I'm doing. He's like rubbing my legs and stuff like that, trying to
He
get
said, "Hey,
attention.
Dad."
So he's like,
That's why I can't have the cats in here. They would be all over
oh
it.
yeah. So
But a chimera it's a medical condition in the medical community, and it basically means that there is a hidden set of DNA within your body. So people have been on death row. People have, and it goes both ways. Mothers and fathers have lost custody of their biological children because they are deemed not their biological parents. There was a documentary on it. It was a mother who was pregnant with her children. DCS got involved for something. They DNA tested, I think, to like confirm paternity of the dad, and it came back that the mother was not the kids' biological parent. And the dad, I think, who was on the outs with the mom, was like, "Hold up a minute, that is their like I was literally there when the kids
yeah,
were born. Like, there's no way
yeah.
that
Well,
she's not their mom." And so she was pregnant at the time. DCS court officials were there during the birth of that child, immediately did the DNA test, and it again came back that the child was not hers.
hmm,
So then she went through all of these genetic tests, and it came out that the DNA that was given to the kids was coming from like her liver or something. Her liver had a different DNA makeup than the rest of her body's tissue.
weird. That's
So
bizarre.
yeah, it's called a chimera, and a lot of them will have like a skin pattern on their back that can be seen under like UV light.
Yeah, definitely heard of
It's
that.
really interesting. You'll have to look it
Yeah,
up.
I've
Like
seen it briefly.
I work in the medical field, guys. So like, and I always have. So medical stuff it like fascinates me. But that stuff that blew my
Yeah,
mind.
because I think some
And then because then the question is how many people are on death row falsely accused because their DNA,
doesn't match up
you
or
know,
matches too much.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think I've
There
even,
was a case like that with brother, I think it was a brother, set of brothers. The brother murdered somebody, but it ruled him out, and the one brother was put in prison
uh because of the
for
detail.
a long time.
I think I've heard of that one too. Not very, I didn't look too
Yeah,
much into it, but yeah, heard something similar to that.
well, because the brother was the closest match,
Uh-huh.
but it ended up being not. They did, I think, end up figuring it out and caught the right guy, but not before the other one was put in prison for quite
At
some
some
time.
time.
So, historically, seeing one's own doppelganger was considered a bad omen, a sign of impending death, or a supernatural entity. We'll get into it later, but they're also depicted as a paranormal entity, such as the evil twin in literature. Artists also have used techniques like double exposure to create spirit photographs of doubles, which was very commonplace in the 1860s during the Civil War. And I know there's a famous photographer that used to do this that actually ended up being put in jail for doing this because he was claiming that what was being done in the photographs was actually the spirits of people that had passed away in war. So he was taking advantage of grieving family members just to make a buck. And he ended up getting found out that it was literally just a double exposure photo that he was creating and selling as something else.
Yeah.
People have always been terrible.
Yeah.
If it
Time does not change that. Almighty
does
dollar
not.
still rules no matter what era or what term of
Nope,
money.
nope. So, while seeing a doppelganger is generally a harmless, albeit uncanny, coincidence in modern life, the concept remains a powerful, often unsettling theme in horror and psychological stories. English speakers, that'd be us mostly, have only recently applied this German word to a paranormal concept. Francis Gross's Provincial Glossary of 1787 used the term fetch instead, defined as the apparition of a living person. And I said, Gretchen Wieners, is that you?
Oh, gotcha.
For all my Mean Girls fans. I was trying so hard to remember. I was like, that's Gretchen Wieners, right? This tries it. Stop making fetch. Fetch is not going to happen.
I said, never seen the
So,
movie, but I still get it.
you've never seen Mean
No,
Girls? Doug, you have homework for the night. Go watch it. Because it's hilarious.
I wouldn't say Chris has, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to guarantee that.
Y'all need to sit down and have a couples movie night because it's funny. We actually, one of my doctors at work, so on Wednesdays, we all wear pink at work because of Mean Girls. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. And one of my doctors had a pink tie on. I think it was on a Tuesday. And then I told him, I was like, Doctor, I said, you're supposed to wear pink on Wednesdays. And he goes, I wear pink every day because I'm the meanest of them all. And I was like, you caught the reference. I was so excited and very impressed that a doctor knew
That's pretty
exactly
awesome.
what I was talking about. He's hilarious. I love the doctors that I work for. They're fantastic. So, okay, well, might be Gretchen Wieners reincarnated then here using the term fetch. But doppelgangers have appeared throughout history in German, ancient Egyptian, Norse, Finnish, Jewish, and Muslim cultures. And in all of those cultures, the doppelganger was often depicted as evil spirits or doubles of the person that the lore was focused on. So these people are just out here like fucking up everybody's world
For a long time.
for generations past.
Pass it down from generation to generation.
And beyond ancient lore, doppelgangers have been found among literature dating back to 1612. But I feel like because the ancient Egyptians talked about it, I mean, it's probably a lot further back, but this was just kind of like the literature. So, like the writings, like the books, poems, letters, plays. All of those have had doppelgangers in them as well as being adapted into television shows and movies, spoken about by names such as Edgar Allan Poe, Stephen King, and then brought to the screen in works by Christopher Nolan, Hugh Jackman, and Christian Bale, Alfred Hitchcock, and many others. We've even seen doppelgangers in children's films like Coraline, which I didn't even connect those dots.
Yeah, I just recently watched it a couple months ago, and I never made the concept like, oh, those are technically doppelgangers. I just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I didn't even connect it until I was researching it, and I was like, huh, it is, isn't it?
well, duplicates of the original
The
person.
other mother. The other mother. I love my daughter loves Coraline. Like loves Coraline. Do you know any other television shows or movies? I mean, I have several
I was trying to think
that
of
I
some,
know.
but I can't remember any off the top of my head. Off, I know there's some shows and movies that reference them, but I just can't think of any off the top of my head.
Have you ever watched The Vampire Diaries?
Chris is like was a diehard fan of that for a while. Vampire
Because of
Diaries?
Damon. It's because of Damon.
Was it because of Damon? Both.
It's always
Both
Damon.
Damon and Stefan.
Stefan's Stefan's all right, but Damon.
Yeah, Damon was her man, but she
Mhm.
loved them both.
Yeah. So Vampire Diaries, like the original, like I don't even know when Catherine came in, but so the main girl, and then she has a doppelganger. Elena is the main girl, Catherine is her doppelganger. So there was that. But as the show goes on, there's like said the show is riddled with doppelgangers because I think Stefan had one. I think there was another one to Elena. Like there was a handful of them in there. But I know that Charmed also had doppelgangers in their show. And then I
I
think
remember.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer also had like an episode or two that included doppelgangers.
I feel like even
And I'm
I was gonna say I think even Supernatural I felt like had at least a couple of them,
probably,
if
yeah.
I remember correctly.
So yeah, so I mean it's pretty popular, prevalent in I think a lot of people talk about it and then they just kind of put them in, especially if the show is already like kind of about supernatural
Yeah,
things.
like why
I think it's
not?
kinda just a given, yeah, to toss that in there. But beyond fiction, there's actually a nonfiction publication surrounding the idea of doppelgangers and stuff, and that is by Naomi Klein. So I'm interested in that book. I'll have to look it up. Um, maybe purchase it and give it a read. But
Add it to your collection.
but being that it's a nonfiction book, I'm gonna assume there's some sort of scientific backing for it. Because I know that they've done studies on the lookalikes, which I'm actually going to talk about here in just a second. Um, so I imagine that's got to be weaved into that book
Oh,
somewhere.
I'm sure.
But yeah, so those studies, people who have been found that are true like lookalikes for people, because I know there's a handful of photographers that have done that same thing. They travel and they find these people that are almost identical, and then they do photography sessions with them, and it is crazy because they're not related.
Mm-mm.
These people are in different parts of the world and they're just out there looking exactly like somebody else from a different country
Yeah, 'cause
with absolutely no genetic ties. Like it is so weird. But beyond physicality, there's oftentimes the lookalikes also have social similarities and then beyond that, genetic similarities.
um,
So there is something in there genetically that also is the same between these people,
yeah, like
which I think is so weird.
yeah, because I guess how DNA works. I mean, it'd probably be roughly the same blueprints or chains that like okay, that's just enough of a mismatch, and then it's just like okay, those common threads are
Right.
matched, and I think that's how they discover some of those genetic stuff is from that guy. I think he's based out of Canada, I want to say. The person who had gone around searching for all these lookalikes, and they like another group came in and is like, oh, let's look further into this, and they were doing biological testing on them, and they're like, yeah, there's like not exact matches, but just enough of the genetic codings are very similar to each other.
Yeah, it's so weird to think about. Like again, medical nerd over here. I love stuff. Genetics is super fun. Like I loved, did you guys ever do like I can't remember exactly what it's called, but the block in like biology? And it has like the double A's and then
Mm.
one uppercase, one lowercase, two lowercases. So it tracks like the recessive
Oh
genes.
yeah, DNA, like how many of this and
Hmm.
this and this to form this kind of.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So like how many of those do you have to create from a whole ass different genetic makeup?
Hmm.
Like how many of those from separate people do you have to get an almost identical person across the world? Like that just is,
It's just the
I
power
can't
of
even wrap my head around it.
genetics, I guess. The mystery and
Yeah,
science. I mean, they're still trying to figure out DNA and stuff.
yeah. But yeah, recessive, dominant and recessive
Yeah.
genes. That's what, and I think it's so fucking
Yeah, it
cool.
was fun. I remember that, vaguely remember that back in school where you get these combinations, you get like brown eyes, you get this combination, you get blue eyes, and which one
Yeah.
would, what are the factors to make these dominant more over the other one?
Right. Well, and then you have things like the cleft chin and stuff, which is so like it's rare to have those.
Hmm.
And then you've got a fucking doppelganger, a look-alike, a second person that looks just like you with that same genetic anomaly
Hmm.
that is super rare. Like, come on.
Well, even going as far as like almost having the same vocal patterns as you. It's like, what the heck's the odds of
Alien.
your vocal patterns being closely matching to somebody?
Yeah. Aliens. We were probed, guys. They took our genetic codes and
The
created other
reptilians.
humans.
That's been thrown around.
Telling you, there's no way. It is. It's a huge hang up with me when I was researching this and like writing my stuff. I was like, how is this happening? Like for genetics to be so similar. Like that's what trips me out so bad.
Yeah, there's gotta be some outside. You would think some outside sources beyond our comprehension to fiddle fart with that.
There has to be. There just has to be. Like, and there's no telling me that there's not. But I actually get this a lot. I wish I could like wrote down every time, yo, you say I look exactly like this person, please tell me more. But I've gotten that almost since I was a teenager. Like, oh my God, so and so. Like they'll call me somebody else's name. I don't know who that is. That's not me. You look just like her. Okay, like I believe you, but I don't know who you're talking about. And I don't have any relatives by that name, or that I sound just like them, or have the same mannerisms as these other people. And a couple of them have showed me photos of whoever it is that they're talking about. And I do resemble these other people.
They're like,
Like,
yeah,
why you got my face? Why are you wearing my
yeah.
face? Like, I don't like it.
Or why are you taking pictures of me and you're claiming it's somebody else?
Right, right.
You're just a creeper.
Stalkers. Right. But it just, it kind of it, and then it goes on to my next talking about my favorite talking point is timeline. So we're gonna jump on this bandwagon over here now. I have always believed that there's one more than one timeline in play. And this is why, in my opinion, why we have deja vu. I don't think that this is like your mind creating this to try and understand the moment, because most of my deja vu moments are so absolutely incredibly like mundane. There would be nothing that my brain was like trying to comprehend at that time. Like I'll be sitting and having a conversation with somebody as simple as that, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I've been here before. Like I have been here at this time in this location with this person having this exact conversation with these exact words. And then I freak out. Like,
Yeah.
why have I been here before?
Yeah, because there can't be just anything ordinary about that moment for you to just like almost like
Yeah,
what what makes this moment stand out from any other. I mean, you may have done the same routine over and over, but for some reason, this day, this time, it's like, what's weird about the situation? It seems familiar, but it shouldn't be familiar.
right. So we have deja vu. And then another part to timelines is like people disappearing just literally in the blink of an eye. Paula Jean Weldon. This is like one of the main cases that I know that I heard of years back, and it just stuck with me. Paula was 18. She was a student at the Bennington College. She was hiking the long trail out in Vermont in 1946. She was hiking in a bright red coat. Plenty of witnesses. There were other people out on the trails that day. She stepped off the path right ahead of some people and then just gone. She was just gone. She was never seen again. Her clothing, nothing. Nothing was ever seen again from her. She was the first of 5 people to vanish in that same region between 1945 and 1950. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, serial killer. But over the years in this specific area, there have been hundreds of people, and not just people to disappear, but vehicles, planes, all kinds of things that just blip are gone. And that is where the Bennington Triangle theory came from. So I know that I have brought it up a couple of times to you guys, the team. Of something that I wanted to look into was the Bennington Triangle, and that's up in that northeastern part of America.
Well,
It triangulate like it's a triangle, and it encompasses several states, much like the Bermuda Triangle. And then we have the Alaska Triangle. They're all the same thing. Lots of disappearances, lots and lots of cryptid activity, like aliens, Bigfoot. I actually think, other than the Bermuda Triangle, and I'm not sure, I'd have to look into it, but Bennington area, that triangle up in the northeast, and then the Alaska Triangle, they both have some sort of like Loch Ness monster-esque creature living in them.
the cryptid hotspot,
Yeah.
party spot.
So, and I get into it here in just a little bit because I'm gonna put on my tinfoil hat.
Bring out the whiteboard.
Yeah, with my red tape. Yeah. But Bennington Triangle. Margaret Elaine McKinley. She was also hiking the Lost Trail at Windy Hills Open Space Preserve in May 2025. 2025. This is last year. Margaret walked ahead of her family. Again, plenty of witnesses. She was there with her family, rounded a corner just ahead of them, gone, never seen again. She has not been found. No evidence has been found. She just disappeared right there in front of her family's eyes. So, is it nefarious? I don't know. Is this a convergence of timelines just swallowing people up? That's kind of where I'm going. Like, because there's no, literally without a trace. Like, your family is a handful of feet behind you, and then you just are gone.
And for somebody to come and quote unquote scoop them up and run off with them, there would be
Right.
some
There'd be no way. There'd be some evidence of a struggle, especially with that close. Like, I could kind of see Paula's case, maybe. It sounded like she kind of did the same thing, just like rounded a corner, stepped off the path really quick, and there were other hikers there, and then she just disappeared. But for your own family to be right behind you and then just
a millisecond, like
have
you're
you
gone.
just gone? Hell no. I don't know. Maybe you got a weird family and they don't care. But like, if that
Oh
were
well, we
me,
got more. Move along.
I'd be freaking the fuck out and
Hmm.
I'd be searching and I would not be leaving that area. Like, all of my senses would be on.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. Timelines, in my humble opinion, I think that we are created on one timeline, but that every decision that we make through our existence creates fissures in that main timeline, and then it splices off into other directions and other timelines with versions of you that made those other decisions. I get very sci-fi here for a second.
I mean, I can see that because I think after I first heard about the subject we're going to talk about, even I was starting to think at work, was like, well, I mean, what happens if I bump into my quote unquote doppelganger and he's well off, he's wealthy, and I'm
Oh,
ma-
that guy's life.
I'm the one who made all the poor choices and got veered off in the other
Yeah.
direction, and you never know.
Well, and then there have been moments where people will be in like near death experiences, pull out, almost get killed by a vehicle or in a vehicle or, escape certain death and at all these different turns. And then they have a lot of them report like dreams or visions of them actually dying, that what it would have looked like had that happened. So like,
Yeah.
it did it? Is there another timeline out there where you don't exist anymore and it's like bleeding through?
Yeah, and that's where you get the, ancestors or the historical people associated with, bad omens and death. One of them ends up passing on, and that's the only thing that's left. And it's like, oh, well, they saw their doppelganger, and that means must have been impending doom.
So if this theory of your decision making and then creating of different timelines, that would literally give us almost infinite other timelines because we're just out here making decisions all day long.
No,
Which is why people have multiple duplicates of themselves. I don't believe a doppelganger is just two versions of one single being. I think that there are many. And I had this thought. I was like, could you imagine that the world is literally just like 1,000 people to start, and the rest of the population is just doppelgangers of those
everybody.
1,000 people?
And it's just based off of their life choices. Like, oh, I want pink hair today, and the other version is blue hair, and
Yeah. Like, I mean, it could be. I don't know. So then it's what happens when the timelines cross. I think that's where multiple things can happen. And I think the most, like, the lesser of all these little, like, evils is deja vu. I think that's the least radical thing to have happen. It's unsettling, but there's no
ramifications from
big
that.
impending, yeah, big doom moment from
It's just
having
like this,
deja
like
vu.
any kind of like this, like stand back, look around, shake it off, and just move
Hmm.
on.
Yeah. Have you had deja vu before?
I've had a few times, and there were like nothing significant. It was just like this seems eerily like almost to a point. I think I felt like I've dreamt one or two of them. Like it felt like
Hmm.
dreamlike, where like I've already
Yeah.
visualized it in my head, and all of a sudden it's playing out in real life.
Right.
And it's just,
So
like I said, it just gives
I,
you that click. Sorry.
yeah, no, I have had deja vu. My very first, I can remember it the very first time I was like somewhere between the ages of 9 and 11. I was living in Delaware at the time, and that first one I was sitting on the toilet. Why again, why the hell am I having deja vu about sitting on a toilet? But I did, and I remember panicking because I think my sisters were doing something in the background, and it just like clicked. Like I looked out because, I got the door open, I don't give a fuck. And I looked out into the hallway, and then I just remember stopping and like internally freaking out because I had lived that moment already. Like it was really, really, really unsettling for somebody like between the ages of 9 and 11. And I have gotten deja vu probably a couple times a month, but in the last year, it is stepped up a lot. And I know probably last fall, it was almost every few days I was having some sort of deja vu moment. And I was like, I was freaking, oh my God, I've got like a brain tumor or something. Like, I'm going to die. Like, what the fuck is going on with me? Because I'd never had that many moments of deja vu in one like short span of time. I'm used to having them now, but not that many. I've always hated having them because I kind of always have gone in, I have anxiety. So it always sends me into like a tailspin, like trying to figure out why the fuck I'm having this moment. I start panicking. So in the last probably year and a half or so, I have tried to like acknowledge it. Yes, I've been here before. Like I recognize that I've been here before, but instead of freaking out, just kind of like witnessing, not trying to think too much about what it is that is going on or why it is happening, but just like witnessing what's being said, what's going on in the moment, just observing
Allow it to
without
play out.
freaking out. Yeah, cuz usually I'm trying to figure out what came next the last time this happened. And why am I reliving it again? Like, am I getting, like, is it like a second chance thing?
Yeah,
Like they hit the rewind button and now I'm all of a sudden here again?
giving you a chance
So
to
yeah,
redo your choices.
right. God, if that
Yeah,
were true.
yeah, we'd be hitting
I'd
that
live
button a lot.
forever because I am stubborn. But yeah, it's just for now, what I'm trying to do is acknowledge that it's happening and then just observe whatever it is at that time. I really need to start either writing these things down or like getting my phone out and like creating like a voice message to myself. Like, hey, this is what's happening right now on this date, this time, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I need to start documenting it though, because, and then to see when they're happening and how often they're happening. Maybe it's like high stress times. Maybe there's like a lot changing all of a
Or
sudden
a
in
certain
my
time of the
life.
day, or
Yeah. So uh, I don't know, but I do need to be better about like documenting them.
my I was gonna say, my thing is like, well, since you mentioned that you deal with anxiety, is it like something that associates more with people who suffer anxiety to people who don't have it as much?
I don't know.
Something,
That's, yeah, I've never looked, I mean, I've never looked into it like that. Just deja vu is obviously just a topic that I talk about
hmm
quite often because I have a lot of experience with it. Um, Maybe it is
like
something
a
that has to
weird
do with
side
people with
effect or
anxiety.
part of anxiety.
Maybe we have anxiety because we have so much fucking deja vu.
Just this constant. It's like, oh, what's this from you? What's going on? Oh God.
We're glitching nonstop.
Yeah, I feel like that goes on with a lot of people nowadays. It's just this glitch after
Yeah,
glitch after glitch, and it's non-stopping, and
it's
waiting for that
ridiculous.
moment to like click. Maybe I should do this instead, and hopefully it rights the ship.
Right. Our guardian angels are like, for fuck's sake,
Up
that
there,
took
that
long
fucking
enough.
hurt.
Christ.
Move that other direction. I told you.
I'd have to hit this one with a, because they'd have to hit me with a car. Like there'd be no other way, I think. I'm a hard learner, apparently. So yeah, deja vu. Unsettling, but not really huge ramifications to having that. So then what would be like next timeline crossing? Would be a disappearance, in my opinion. Like deja vu, unsettling, timeline cross, next step would be disappearing. My thought to that is portals. A little definition for everybody out there: spiritual portals are high vibrational, energetic gateways between the physical world and subtle spiritual planes, often appearing during significant astrological alignments. Think like November 11th, 11/11, March 3rd, we just had one, 3/3. There's a huge one, the Lionsgate portal in August on the 8th, 8/8. So any of those like repeating numbers, repeating times, those are when they say the veil gets thin, those are high vibrational moments. They can create energy points or portals. There's also specific geographical locations. So I think that deja vu has the potential to be a moment where a portal can be created, because I think that it is a timeline crossing. And that's why you're recognizing that moment that it has already happened. But I think that when other timeline crosses create portals, I think there's got to be some other like factors at play, like ley lines, the Bennington Triangle, the Alaska Triangle, all of those places have ley lines through them. Geomagnetic peaks, portals in those areas. Those are all things that happen in those areas that disappearances and stuff happen at. So I think that aside from just those like minor things, I think that there are bigger things at play, and that's where the portals can be opened. Various places around the world where there are increasing numbers of disappearances. Why? And I'm not, like I said earlier, I'm not just talking like people who disappear, like a single person who's just like gone and ta-da. Whole planes have disappeared in these places. Alaska, the Alaska Triangle, I'm gonna research, I'm gonna do an episode on that one. Military planes, they were actively being tracked and talked to. No sign of stress, nothing. And then they were just gone. But what's crazy about that airplane that disappeared was they were still hearing echoes for a couple of seconds to minutes afterwards when that plane disappeared and literally just off the map. They were still hearing feedback from that plane.
What is he?
And then it just stopped. So ships, cars, buses, vessels, things, giant things, multiple people in these things, and they're just gone.
without any
Like that,
explanation.
no explanation. And see, and again, like the one in Alaska, that was a military plane. They had, I think there was over 40 people on this plane. They were just out, I think, just doing normal operations, again, in contact, constant contact with their tower and everything. They saw them just blip off the map. They immediately sent rescue planes out because they didn't know if they crashed or something. There was nothing, absolutely not a single thing, no sign of wreckage, no disturbance in the mountainsides, nothing. And no one was ever found. The plane has never been found.
Okay, just
It's like all the ships in the Bermuda Triangle. Like, where the fuck are they going? To just be there and then
there's
gone.
another dimension, just a stockpile of ships.
I just, right? Another one falls through the sky. What the fuck?
And some interdimensional creatures like, why is these things keep piling up here?
Right. We did not order this. But I would love to look at like the commonalities between each of the, and I'm sure there's other like triangles. Those are just the three that I've heard the most about. But like, what do they have? What commonalities do those areas have? Are there is there a higher content of a special kind of like stone in that area that has like a high vibration of it? The ley lines, like, what is it about those areas that are similar that these people are just
Like, the concentration of elements, rock, earth,
right?
or the earth, water, sky, and whatever, it's causing enough of frequency to like just loosen things up for something as massive as a ship to go through.
In an air, yeah, ships, air, like that. That's what trips me out the most. It's not just like a few people, one or two people at one time, at multiple points. It's to lose 40 fucking people in an airplane.
And then
Like,
no sign of it
what?
after that.
And nothing after that. That happened, I think, in the 50s or 60s. But again, there was an immediate and response from the military. They
Mhm.
sent out people immediately to look for them, and there was nothing. So
It's not
I
nothing
don't
from
know.
like the cruise where like, oh, we sent out a ship.
Right.
I guess we've lost it. Oh well.
And it arrived 5 years later.
It finally showed up at the spot. I guess it's fine.
Right. Right. No, it was immediate. And I'd have to look back at the documentation. There wasn't like a ton of time in between the plane missing and then, the rescue plane. And there were multiple rescue attempts. It wasn't just the one. They continued sending people out there, I think over a few weeks of time consistently. And then after a couple weeks, they were like, what do you even do at that point? We can't just keep putting resources out, which I
Yeah.
understand. But like, they really made a conscious effort to try and find those people that were gone. I mean, that's 40 families
Yeah.
that just lost somebody randomly,
And
you know?
don't want to send anybody back through there again, just in the event it happens again.
Right,
You want to understand
right,
what happened to just disappear. You don't be like, well, I guess it's a fluke, and then send somebody else out there and it happens again. Then you're sitting there
right.
explaining.
Well, and then is it just the area that's creating it, or was it the area in one other specific event? Like, was it like 12-12? Was there a repeating time and it created something like, I don't know. But yeah. So beyond that, timeline, intersections and stuff disappearing, next question is what happens when we have an exact duplicate of ourselves? Does that also create a timeline cross and open a portal or something? Like, I think that only one version of ourselves can realistically exist on a single timeline. So if we have an exact duplicate that we're coming in contact with, what happens?
Hmm,
Are one of the copies absorbed? Do we cross into a separate timeline so that we can continue to exist, or do we die?
I have a Highlander moment. There can only be one.
There can only be one. That's right. With her. Yeah.
Or is that the
I think
the
they were
Jet,
onto something.
Jet Li movie, the one when he goes into these alternate universes to face off with himself? and he kills himself, and he gets stronger with every version of himself he
You
kills.
know, I'd probably be a goner. I gotta say, I'm sure there are probably other versions of me that are a lot more evolved and more fit.
Yeah,
I'd probably be dead. I'd be the one absorbed
he'd
for
be the
sure.
weakest link, because I think that's what happens is like he ends up meeting like the weaker version of himself, and of course somehow magically the weaker version ends up winning somehow. But it's like, no, no, I don't think so. I would probably be the weakest of the duplicates of myself. And he's like, just flicking the forehead. I'm
I'm
done.
sure there's some that are far off, like far worse off than
At least you
I, but
hope.
I'm probably not like the top of that food chain.
You just hope for at least the middle ground, at least.
High middle, maybe. But I mean, I was actually shocked at how many people, like how many things in history that I was able to find claiming that they themselves saw a doppelganger or a copy of themselves and then died. So like, where did that even come from? Like, why way back when it first happened, way back in like the 1600s? Because I actually think there were some before that, but like, why was their initial thought like if I saw a copy of myself, I'd die? And I don't know if it's because even today, like people, if they don't understand something, the fear of that just automatically means it's going to bring doom.
Mm.
Like, I think that's just like a default setting in the human genetic code. If we don't understand it, it's bad.
Oh, yeah.
So if we can't make sense of it, it just has to be a bad omen. Or are they claiming it because it is a bad omen? Like, was there enough passed down throughout history of events happening that it was recognized as that? Because I think, all this, we've all had stories passed down generation to generation. It's in the history books, they change over time, but there are still truths
Yeah.
in those
The
stories.
underlying
So,
truth of it all is still sitting in there.
right. It's in there. So I have several in here. 1822, there was Percy Shelley. Shortly before drowning in Italy, the poet, he was a poet, told his wife Mary Shelley that he met his double on a terrace and it asked him, "How long do you mean to be content?" And then he drowned.
Apparently not that
Queen
long.
Elizabeth, not that long. It ends now.
Your contentness is over.
Queen Elizabeth I in March 1603. Shortly before her death, the Queen reportedly saw her own doppelganger lying motionless on her bed, pale and wan, and then she passed away. Abraham Lincoln. After his election in 1860, he reportedly told aides that he saw two reflections of himself in a mirror, one of which was ghostly pale. So, like, two reflections, is he meaning like his own and then another, or were there legit two and then his own? I don't
Yeah,
know.
because what I've seen into that was he's seen that, and I think he talked to his actual wife about it, Miss
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln about it, and she was like,
Yeah.
because she was all about the supernatural, and I
Yes.
think she,
They used to have seances. There was a seance room in the White
hmm
House. And it actually might still be there. I mean, I doubt it, but it might still be there. It's probably repurposed now because, Christianity can't,
can't
we don't
can't
play that
can't
game.
doubt
Right. But back in the 1800s, there was a huge spiritual
it.
movement
Hmm.
at the time. And I think that's kind of when the original like talking boards and stuff kind of came about through that. But yeah, so Abraham
I think
Lincoln.
she was trying to say it was omen that he would survive two terms. One was successful. The second one was when he was going to pass away. The second image of himself was the image of himself in his second term. I think that's what
Yeah.
they were trying to say,
Yeah.
and of course that played out.
Okay. Yeah. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, and I probably butchered the last name there, but he was a German writer and he claimed to see a spectral version of himself riding toward him in a gray coat, only to wear the same outfit on that same road years later, and then died. And then Catherine the Great. Servants reported seeing her double on her throne, and after she ordered the apparition shot, she died of a stroke. Like, it's just crazy. Like, are they doppelgangers, or were these people literally having like prophetic visions of themselves? Like, could they have just been clairvoyant and seeing visions of futures of what could be?
or what will be.
Uh, right. So I don't know.
Because even I want to think, I mean, this is maybe far fetched, but the whole stone tape theory and maybe something their events are so strong at the moment. It's like they happen to see their own recording of themselves before their passing,
Mm,
like their
yeah,
spiritual recording. Because the way some of them sound like you're like the whole the one that saw himself in his gray coat and stuff. It seemed like it's just a
yeah.
replaying of
Johann.
leading up to his last moments.
Right. Yeah. Well, and there, I mean, there's plenty of people throughout history. Those are just the ones that like seeing doubles of themselves. But I guess it would also be the same as having those visions, like people that are like, I had a vision of me dying and this is how, and then it comes true.
Hmm.
I don't know why those people felt like it was just a vision, whereas these people are like, I saw another version of myself. It's a doppelganger. But yeah, it's crazy.
You know,
There are no answers here.
there's no
I need answers. I need to know.
no clear cut like yes, no, maybe so, or is there is maybe so, but it's
There's
up.
a lot of maybe so's.
Uh, it's nothing but maybe
But yeah,
so's
no.
left unread.
You should have seen me. Like when I started working on this, I was like,
Give me
I
the
was freaking
answers.
out. I was, and I was Googling, and then I was reading this, and I was reading that, and then I was over here on this website, and then I had to go over here, and I look like a crazy person. So,
Just eventually sitting there like, give me the teacher's edition so I can see all the answers.
right, so I have no answers. I have plenty of theories about doppelgangers and timelines and stuff. I could be here for a very long time discussing such things, but I can't because we all have our timelines to be on and our shit to do. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys have theories, I want to hear them. That's all I do now. Like, send them on in.
I think we kind of more or less shared our theories and rough thoughts of how
Hmm.
what things could be.
Right.
Probably won't know until our turn in the afterlife.
Maybe. Maybe that's where all the answers are, but I'm not in any hurry to get them if that's the case. I got shit to do.
There's things I want
I
to do.
got things to handle here. Yeah, I got shit to see. I have FOMO really, really bad. Like the girls at work are always picking on me because even on my days off, like I'll be in like the work chat because it's just on my phone. So like
Mhm.
if they're in there talking, it's obviously dinging my phone, and I'm always
What's going on?
like, girl, it is your day off. Stay out of here. I'm like, I can't. I need to know what's going on.
I'm a nosy body. I need to know.
I am. I need to know. Tell me what's happening over there. I'm lonely.
I'm by myself.
So,
I want to
I
be a
mean,
part of everything.
I really do. I'm like, I love working 410s, but when they're there on that fifth day, I'm like, what y'all doing over there? I really do need to learn how to like
Separate.
take a step back and not, I do need to separate.
I mean, I guess it's
Having
a
the third,
good thing that you enjoy your job enough because you could be in my situation. You're like, I'm definitely taking full advantage of getting away. But don't latch
yeah.
me back into involving anything that's going on.
One of the other girls that works there, she loves the office. We all love our office. We love our doctors, the staff, the people that do the hiring there did a phenomenal job. Like we all like mesh so well. Like there is no drama, there is no bullshit. Like we are there, we do our jobs, we take care of one another, and then we go home. But the one girl, she's like, you could not pay me enough to be looking at this phone on my day off. Like I'd rather get hit by a bus than pick up that phone and look at anything having to do with work on a day off. But me and a couple of the other girls are all like, we have to know. So
Give us all
I
the
don't know.
details
But thanks for coming on today.
from.
I appreciate
I
it.
feel like it's a tryout to be a potential co-host.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about it. I definitely want you guys on more. We'll have to figure out the recording situation. Doug had a lot of technical difficulties on his
I'm
end.
not a very technical guy, so that doesn't surprise me. But still, it's like I think I know enough to know things, and
Right.
and then I guess
To turn it on and click
it
on
should
a
just
link.
happen, not just jump through hoops and this and that.
You know what? I've had this soundboard now for how long, and I still, every time I turn it on, I'm like, why can I not hear myself? Because I have to press this one button, and I always forget. And I've recorded so many episodes with this thing now, and I still have to remind myself that I have to press that fucking button or I can't hear shit. So,
You
we're doing the best we can
know, baby steps now, baby steps.
from day to day. But yeah, no, I've got lots upcoming. I have other guests that I'm going to have on from other podcasts, other investigative teams. I'm just like, come on the show, come here and talk to me, have conversations. But yeah, it would definitely be like and the ones that I would typically be here by myself. I would love to have you on. It's nice having somebody else to chat with. And then we're gonna definitely set up one with the owners of Spirits of Marco and you and Thomas so that we can do our little debriefing from that and hear from her name is Kate. And I do you remember her husband's name? I'm so bad.
I I totally spaced.
Can't remember. I remember, yeah, I know what he looks like. But I remember Kate because I talked to
Yeah,
her a
I've
lot, but
seen
I
enough
don't
emails,
remember.
and having to send money
Yeah,
through Venmo.
mhm,
I
yeah,
recognize her
but I
name.
don't remember his
Yeah, I
name.
feel bad.
I'm so sorry, Kate's husband.
He was a cool guy. Now,
He
I think it's
is.
amazing that a strong skeptic was even
Yes.
wanting to be like, I've
Yeah.
seen some stuff.
He's been transformed into a believer
He's coming over to the
now that
dark
he lives
side.
in a haunted place. He is. Our strategic takeover is taking
But we'll
place.
fully talk about that when the episode comes.
Yes. Yeah, we will save it for that. But Doug, tell everybody where you can or where they can find
I-PSI, your typical Hans, Facebook, TikTok. We're still working on that YouTube and Instagram.
Instagram.
Those are the main places we tend to chill, which most of the time, if you contact us, it's going to probably be me working the socials. I might try to get a few of the other team members to get a little more involved with the socials, so I'm not burdened with everything. But most of the
Yeah.
traffic comes,
Social media stuff is hard. I do all this on my own and it takes a lot
yeah,
out of you.
yeah.
So, especially if you're trying to be consistent and post all the time, it's a pain in the ass.
And then coming up with the material all the time for it is rather tricky. And then on top of that, I'm trying to continue on my travel business, and that involves its own social media this, social media that.
Yeah. Do you guys have an email that people can email in if they need something?
I wanted to say yes, but my brain's freezing up on me.
Busting out the hard
Yeah.
questions.
I think I got it all on our link tree on our socials. So I wouldn't say
Okay.
it's just,
Okay.
I wouldn't say IPSI.gmail.com, something along those lines.
At gmail.com. Yeah, I think it's Gmail. I don't remember where you emailed me from
Yeah, it's Gmail, but
a year
I can't
ago.
remember. It's like the whole world still, Indiana. I think it's just
Hmm.
IPSI. I don't know if there's any numbers or characters involved. It's just IPSI@gmail.com or something like that. I don't associate too much with
Check
it.
out the link
Yeah,
tree.
I got the link
Check
tree,
out the
so
link
I
trees. And you can find me on all the social medias, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I have merch. I also have a link tree, and that has all my social media pages. Like if you find me on one, you can find the link tree. It'll take you everywhere else. And it will also have a merch option as well as where to find the podcast. And if you're on the social medias, I usually have I-PSI tagged.
yeah,
Everything that I do, I tag them in.
same here with you guys.
Anything that we collaborate on, they're tagged in. So if you're looking for them, you just find me and then find them there.
And vice versa.
If you have stories of doppelgangers, timeline crosses, blips, whatever you want to talk about, or just any other spooky tales that you want to share, I want to hear about it. So you can either message me on the social medias or you can email me at ghosttrackspodcast@gmail.com. I think that's it. And on all of like I also link in the show notes for each episode. Like if I have somebody on, like Doug, I-PSI is going to be linked in the show notes as well, so that you guys can just click on there. And I think I have everything but your email on there. So I usually put all of your social medias and YouTube on there.
Yeah, that's gonna be the main sources though, is the social media.
Yeah, yeah. So okay. Well, we're gonna get off of here. And thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it. Until next time,
Doodles.
stay creepy. Bye.